Hey guys, this is Dfs Chan coming to you here on February 8th. Um, here to talk about two-game LCK League of Legends LOL Slate. Um, as you guys know, we had a little bit of break in the LCK, and we're still having a break in the LPL due to the Lunar New Year's break. But the LCK is starting back up. And as you guys know, on the weekends, we have LEC and LCS, both in Europe and in North America, respectively. So we have a lot of League of Legends going on. And I mean, starting next week, we're going to have a full throttle, all four major regions starting. And who knows, DK may even add CBLOL, which is from Brazil, here and there throughout the way. So anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the two LCK slate games today. The first matchup is T1 versus HLE. T1 obviously has been the best team in the whole LCK in Korea. I'll show you the standings right now. I think that will kind of solidify as to how good LCK has been. So T1 has been 6-0 so far, above Genji in the sole first place setting here. T1 and Genji will be playing against each other later this week, so that will be the marquee matchup of the week. But today they're playing against Hanwha Life Esports. They are in one of the bottom tier teams, so they're 2-4. Hanwha Life, as you guys may remember from the preseason videos, but they have one of the worst rosters, probably the worst roster in the LCK. I picked them to be the worst, to be the last rather, in the standings for Korea, and I fully expect them to lose in tonight's matchup against T1. I know there was a bit of a break due to Lunar New Year's break, as mentioned. But I just feel like T1 is such a disciplined team, led by, some veterans there, including Faker. And I like to call Carrier a veteran as well, because he's been in the league for a while. But they're all young except for Faker. But Faker does a really good job, and the coaching staff does a really good job. And also, the players, even though they're young, they grew up throughout the T1 system, academy system. So, I mean, they know what it takes. I think they'll be focused after a break still to beat HLE tonight. So I fully expect T1 to win the series. They could drop a game or two. I mean, they could drop a game here in the series. I don't expect them to. I think T1's going to win 2-0. But even if they do drop a game, I think T1's still gonna end up winning the series. I'll try to talk about the kill upside on a two-game slate like this. I think it's very critical to see, if you have any edge as to what kind of kill upside that each matchup has, right? To make a long stack versus short stack decision. So we'll talk about that later at the end. And then the second matchup of the day is a very interesting one. It's between DRX versus KT Roaster. As you guys know, DRX had a lot of COVID issues internally within the team. All of the starters, except for Dfs, their AD carry, all of them, top, jungle, mid lane, and their support, they're all out tonight. So they called up their academy players. So all of those four academy players in those respective roles will be playing with Deft against KT Roaster. KT Roaster, that's why they're a big favorite here. And also because KT Roaster has been playing much better than DRX, more consistently. So that's why they're a big favorite at -480. KT Roaster has a pretty good squad, and I feel like they've been hitting the stride. They were hitting the stride rather before the Lunar New Year's break. So I feel like KT Roaster should win this game. all the signs are pointing that way, except that DRX actually, the academy team that I mentioned, those 4 players, newcomers, are coming up to play today. I saw this article that the DRX Challengers team, 4 of those players play on, regularly play on this team. They're on a 6-game winning streak, it says in this Korean article, and they're 12-1 overall. So they're in the first place in the academy in the challengers tier. So they have a really good team synergy. And Deft is playing with them. It's not like Deft has to, he plays 80 carry. So 80 carry is not the type of position where he has to, try very hard, or it's not gonna be very difficult for him to mesh in, with these 4 players that have been playing together quite a bit. I mean, they've won 12 games together this season already, and they're on a 6-game winning streak. So I do think that's gonna help DRX a lot. I think DRX has a very good chance to beat them. I don't think people understand. I think there is a talent gap between obviously the challenger players versus KT roster players, the regular starters for them. I think there is a gap there, but the fact that DRX, those players have been playing together, together as a team, I think that would cover up some of the talent gap that we will notice. So I feel like in the early game, I think DRX will struggle. And I think that's probably the best win condition for KT Roaster, to get the edge early game and snowball from there. But if DRX somehow manages to mitigate the early game snowball, I think in the mid to late game, I think DRX definitely has a shot to hold their own against KT Roaster in the game. So, but at the end, I just feel like KT Roaster has been playing well and their team's good. So I do think KT Roaster is going to win. So I do think at the end, it's going to be a chalk fest with stacking T1 and KT Roaster. But I do think DRX is a better GPP pick. I think some people may just get scared off because DRX, they're bringing in these like minor league players and calling them up, and so. But I just feel like DRX has, they've been playing together, and I think DRX has more of a shot than Hanwha Life does today. Some people may disagree, but so here you can see over under kills is 22.5 for T1 versus HLE. So let's see what the DRX is about. It's exactly the same. So the Vegas thinks that it's exactly same. So there's no edge there, but we can kind of see as to what their tendencies have been like in general. So let's look at the metrics that I usually look at, combined kills per minute. So here you see DRX has been playing somewhat faster than most other teams, including the DRX and T1 have shares same combined kills per minute, and KT Roaster has been playing a little bit slower. Hanwha Life has been playing a little bit slower. They're about the same. I mean, 0.67, 0.65, 0.64. I mean, they're negligible. So, but let's see what in their wins. Hanwha Life actually has been playing faster, and KT Roaster has been playing slower. That is interesting. So given what I see here, I do think, let me see the losses. So they're very similar. Noticeably, I think they're very even. And that's why we saw the Vegas odds over under at 22.5 identically. I think just what's my institutional knowledge in League of Legends esports scene, I just feel like when players like this come up from the minor league, it's either of the opposite. It's either of the extremes. polar extremes. Like these players come up and they get called up and they try really hard not to make mistakes. Especially that's the case in the LCK because that's how they grew up playing. In the pro scene and Korean esports scene is you try to minimize all your mistakes, right? But this is a little different for DRX today because all four players have been playing together. And let's see how bloody they were in the challengers. I think that will be very critical to know. DRX 0.67. So I think this is probably the best nugget of the video that I will share. LCK challengers. Okay. And I want to see how fast DRX has been playing. I feel like they've been playing fast. So 0.79 is how fast they've been playing. So that's actually a little bit faster than what their major league equivalent. Yeah. So I actually do think the fact that DRX is starting new starters, I think they're gonna, so to speak, go out swinging hard. So I just feel like DRX is gonna be, I think that DRX versus KT Rolster is gonna produce more kills than T1 versus Hanwha Life. I just feel like even if they lose, DRX is gonna go out swinging hard, I think. Like I said, so I think that would increase the kill upside for both teams, DRX and KT Rolster. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think T1 is gonna handle its business, but low kills, because Hanwha Life, as you guys saw, that has been playing slower, 0.64. Let's see what they are like in losses. 0.60. So yeah. So I think Hanwha Life does not provide any good kill upside for T1. So, I think maybe I'll get a long stack from DRX KT Roaster matchup. I think that's probably where I'm going to go. And the last thing I'll say is let's look at what the DRX challenger players kill participation and kill share metrics are like, because that's very important in DFS. As you guys can see here, kill participation. Their AD carry is really good, but he's not playing today. Dfs is playing. Their jungler, Peach, today is going to be pretty good. 77.3, that's really good. And their support is pretty good at kill participation. Their top laner is not very good at kill participation percentage. But his kill share is really good. So it might be worth for GPP purposes to try, play cleared in the top lane. So I think his kill share is really high. So it's definitely worth noting that. He probably plays a lot of carry champions, and him going up against, let's see, KT, who last time. Rascal. Oh yeah, Rascal has been playing lights out. So that I would have said Rascal has edge over a lot of players in the top lane, but I think he still does. But Clear is actually not going to be a pushover. I think he's going to hold up somewhat. So that'll be an interesting pick for DFS purposes. But Peach in the jungle, I think he will get the ball moving, and he'll go up against the Cuz, I think. Yeah, Cuz. And Cuz hasn't been the best. So I think Peach has a chance. So anyway, so that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But I'll be back tomorrow or the next day for the another LCK preview video, and then onto LEC and LCS. So hope you guys make some money today. It could be a chalk fest, but I do think DRX's minor league players will provide an interesting twist. But I do think personally that DRX matchup is going to be more bloody. So good luck, everybody. And yeah, have fun. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.